It's 3:01, and we are in a special meeting of the Marquette Township Board. Today's Friday, December 27th, 2019, and we could have roll call, Randy, please.
Treasurer Johnson is excused and absent. Trustee LaRue.
Here.
Trustee Wiegand.
Here.
Trustee Everson.
Here.
Trustee Marks.
Present.
Clerk Rattari is here, and Supervisor Duran.
Yes,
Staff present is Manager Gerard.
we'll do this quick and easy. We have no public, and then there's no board member comment. And I don't believe we have any declarations of conflict. We're doing a budget resolution, so we can cross that one off. Year-end budget amendments, we had a surprise on our server. Thought maybe it would last till next year, Randy, but I guess not. Do you want to read the,
Yeah, I'll read it and,
well, I guess we should, I don't have, yeah, approval of the agenda. Okay, let's do
okay,
that
yeah, we have
first.
to approve the agenda first. So I'll make a motion, we approve the agenda as presented.
So moved.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. Okay. Approval of year-end budget amendment.
The budget amendment is 2019-13, and the authorization is requested to increase expenditures in the general fund for a server replacement. Since it was unanticipated, will come from the fund balance. Also requested is approval for the state of Michigan payment for the underpass project, offset by a projected MDOT grant. And Manager Gerard can go into that, I guess, if we need any background.
Sure, you want some background on those?
Yeah.
Okay, as you may know, we have two main servers in our computer system. One handles the email operations, the other handles our domain, basically, which is everything else that runs through that server. The email server has 4 separate drives in it. One of the drives failed about 2 weeks ago. So we ordered a new drive and they came in to install it, and when they installed it, he came back in and said, by the way, your domain server is starting to fail, the other server. That we purchased in 2012, that server. So he said it's on its last legs, it is going to fail. So I had him get a quote, and that's what this $10,000 is. Basically, that is purchase of the server, the installation of the programming on it, and the licenses for all of us that use it. Each of us has to have a separate license, basically, to access the server. So that's why it was unanticipated. We were planning that for 2021. It was going to be in the 2020 budget. We talked about it last year, I think it was, in the budget, and deferred it 1 year. And it caught us. So that's what that $10,000 is. It was unanticipated, and I'm projecting that come out of the fund balance.
John?
Move to approve the Charter Township budget resolution as presented.
I'll second that, and you got a light from Dave.
Yeah, anything else, John, that you want to add or ask? Randy?
No, and then the other part of it was, we got an email about the underpass project. I mean, the gist of it is we're gonna be fronting some of the money for this until we get reimbursed from so the project is completed. And some of it isn't completed yet, so we have to wait till it's completed before we get reimbursed.
You want to talk about those, Dave?
Sure. Talk about anything.
Okay, go for it.
My first question is, how come we have to pay for a licensing if we were licensed on the other one?
Because you're
Like just
licensed to a
replacing it.
specific server. The license is to his server specifics. That's one of the things that Clerk Rattari and I chatted just before this. We just got, yesterday, we got in the mail the proposal for renewing the contract for 906 for IT services. So I think what we're going to do is put that on the agenda for the 7th to talk about it. We may want to be going out for bids. Compudyne is also serving this area. Part of what I would like to do in this bid process is to have, so we don't get caught with this again, is to have them give us projected life cycle for the pieces of equipment that we have, so we can schedule it, basically plan it in terms of timeframes.
Or lease it, because a lot of people are
Or lease.
leasing stuff, and then, that's cheaper in the long run.
Yeah, and we've been purchasing, so we own the equipment. So those are a couple of things I think that we need to think about and talk about at our meeting on January 7th, and then possibly go out for bids for IT services.
Okay, go ahead, Dave.
The other one is on the Township Improvements Fund. Is that $5,000 from the Iron Heritage Trail part of this whole thing, or is that a
Yes,
separate
no,
discussion?
that's part of the revenues. Lois
Okay,
has,
'cause
Lois
I-
has calculated that into the revenues. So,
I know the manager and I had discussed it, and that's part of the whole, the township will not spend any money for this thing. In order to get the $5,000 from the Iron Heritage Trail, we need to spend $5,000.
I thought we kind of said we weren't going to do that, though, when we,
The board has taken
Specifically.
a position, and I've told them when they were going out looking for the money for this, for the tunnel, that they cannot count on anything from the township. So apparently what happened was the Iron Heritage Trail, they contacted the Iron Heritage Trail, and they said, yeah, we'll throw 5,000 in as long as you match it, for a total of 10. And they said, okay, well, now it's before you. The question is it worth $5,000 to you to commit $5,000 for the project of township funds, since you didn't want to do that?
I guess
are we going to be 10,000 short then?
yeah, my whole point is that we don't need the money to finish the project,
No,
right?
You'd be 5,000 short. Because all you would get is their 5,000. You're gonna have to pledge 5 to get their
No,
5.
I guess what my question is it was my understanding that we didn't actually need the Iron Heritage Trail money to keep us.
No.
Right, that's
I
what
had
I thought we had the discussion, and we
What?
said, no, we're not going to do this, so I assumed that they were going to back out.
Well, that was my presumption too
But
until I saw.
my other
until I saw
question
it.
is if you want to keep Iron Heritage Trail with a piece of this or not, that would be the only consideration. If you don't, I don't have any problem with it either way. Just
It sounds like that's their issue.
Well,
If they want to
I'm
put
not
those,
suggesting it's anything else, but
Yeah.
I'm just saying if you want to, then you would have to reconsider that. Otherwise, it's fine with me because the project is going to be a break even anyway.
Yeah, well, I would think that one of the, probably the main reason that you would want, and this is, public, so I'm not divulging anything that's a secret, is whether or not you really want to, since the Iron Heritage Trail connects to the tunnel to get to the north side, whether you want to basically keep them as a fiscal participant in the project. That was a consideration. Other than that, $5,000 is, I don't want to say, no dollars are insignificant, but they're not, as Trustee Wiegand mentioned, they're not critical to the project.
And I believe there was some discussion, and I don't know if it's gone anyplace, I suspect it is not. Wasn't the Iron Heritage Trail talking about funding the asphalting of that access down to the tunnel from their trail?
There was a discussion, but I don't know if it was a commitment. That I don't know.
But if we don't show good faith in this, for $5,000, if we want people to participate and give us money to help these projects, I think sometimes we might have to just, with the amount of money, sometimes it could be different, but in this case here, take case by case, but I think just to show good faith, I think I wouldn't be against it.
Well, all you can do is you can actually donate the 5,000, and when you get the 5,000 back, put it back in the account, really, if you wanted. It's a break even, really. but-
John?
My recollection of what was going on was we were encouraging those that were going to participate and utilize the trail. And to whose advantage it was, that's why we had the discussion that we had previously, and then I think this kind of a commitment of 50% of what they're going to, matching what it seems to me like if they want to use it, they should be paying for it in full. Quit negotiating with us about what we should put in to help help them achieve a goal that they have. I'd say stay with the commitment that the township made earlier.
Dan, any thoughts?
Well, Jason stood right here and we all said that we were not gonna put a single penny in, and I don't feel at this point we should put a penny in. We said it, it's on record. It's not a lot of money, but it sounds like they're trying to handcuff us to, the whole thing just doesn't sit well with me and how they're doing it, so.
It sets a precedent
Yeah.
for them to feel free in the future to expect us to pay half of what they pay, or match what we pay. They pay. I say hell with them.
Yeah, I'm not comfortable with it at all, because we specifically said, first of all, we were not gonna contribute. Secondly, I remember the conversation too. We said, no, I figured it was a moot issue, and,
It would set a precedent. Sure.
yeah, go ahead, Dave.
Just to clarify, I'm not in favor of this necessarily, but they're not paying to use the trail. It was a donation, if we were to match it in kind, towards the tunnel. Regardless of the $5,000, whether it comes or goes, they're still not going to pay to use the trail. It's theirs to use, the same as it's for anybody else there to use. I don't care if we put any money to match in there or not, and yeah, I have the same, I mean, it's kind of forcing us to ante up if we want their 5,000. In my opinion, we don't need their 5,000. My only recommendation or my only consideration is that it keeps some of their money in the pot when it comes to
For maintenance and that.
for maintenance and that kind of stuff. It keeps their fingers in the game is the only thing. I mean, I don't care what the board decides to do, because it's not that much money. It doesn't make that much difference. But we did agree that the township wasn't going to put kicking any money into that. If the board wants to stick to that, I'm fine with that too. But just to clarify that they're not paying to use the trail.
But
But
regardless.
it makes them part of it, part of the project. And whose project is it?
But if they wanted to put 5,000 in, that's up to them, and they still may, who knows?
Whose
Just-
project is it?
Maybe they thought that would get more people involved. I guess it's ours,
Oh, okay.
project. Go ahead, Randy.
I'll turn mine off. But did I have to turn it back on?
Yeah,
I'll turn mine off.
I didn't take the class on button now, which is fun.
we didn't get a manual.
Just push it once.
What's on? That's,
But you
What's
can
on?
you can turn it off at yours?
Yep.
Okay,
Yes.
all right.
When I
That part
recognize
didn't know. There might be another alternative. The DDA funded the lighting for the roundabouts, and that funding leaves about $7,000 in their fund. The DDA might be interested in contributing $5,000 to get $5,000 from.
That's up
That's
to
up to
them.
them.
Just a suggestion,
Yeah.
if the $10,000 total is significant, that's an option, so.
Yeah,
Anyway, it
That's
would
why I
not be,
said if we
would not be
needed it-
township funds.
yeah, if we're not down to the last penny,
Nope.
then that's a different consideration. Go ahead, John.
I wouldn't want them negotiating
Period.
with anyone else.
Okay.
And if we sent them there to do it, they'd be back.
It does set a precedent, so.
So just to clarify though, Randy, the 5,000 is in here too, in these numbers, or?
Yes.
It's all part of
That
this.
5,000 is part of what was projected for the MNRTF.
Okay,
Is our $5,000 anticipated? Is that in here someplace too?
so we need to take it out is what I'm saying.
Probably.
So that those
The $10,000 total was on the list that was submitted to Lois in terms of total revenues.
and if we remove the $10,000 out of that revenue projection, then we're still solid as far as the total goes.
As far as I know, yes.
So the motion could be to approve the resolution
without the,
Checking
without
that.
the matching contribution.
Verifying, yeah, that if that's in here, that it
Yes.
come out.
That's correct.
Okay. Just wanted to make sure.
I don't think that's gonna cause any real significant issue
No.
on an $8 million project or whatever the heck it was. I don't think that 10 grand's gonna be a big deal.
No, I thought if I remembered the way the tunnel thing broke down, we were actually money ahead in that with the donations, and the 10,000
That was my understanding as well.
wouldn't take us down below budget.
Yeah, because it seemed like once we had the conversation and said no, everything progressed after that and it was okay.
All right, cool. I didn't have anything else to add.
Anything else? we
So,
want a
so the
roll
motion will
call.
be to approve the budget amendment minus the township donation of $5,000.
Minus the township match.
Yeah.
Minus the township match.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Support.
that's fine. Well, it's actually, it's already been,
Yeah, John supports.
John supports that, right?
I
And
do,
I
I
support
do.
the second,
The
so.
amendment, okay.
So we'll have a roll call, we need a roll call vote on it.
Yep.
Okay, trustee Marks,
Yes,
clerk Rattari, yes, trustee Wiegand,
Yes.
trustee LaRue,
Yes,
You don't have to listen.
trustee Everson,
Yes.
and supervisor Durant.
Yes.
Okay, the motion carries 6-0 and 1 absent.
Okay. And we have no public? Any board member comment?
I do.
Yes, Dave. I won't even make you turn on your light,
When we, just to say I did it right.
just for fun. Okay,
When we
go ahead,
started this
Dave.
whole email thing, and it was, we needed to pay some bills and on and on and on, it's like, wow, we had bills to pay that we didn't know about until after.
That's the way Randy
The last
presented it to
meeting?
me, so I figured
And what
something
it got
came
down
up.
to is, we just need to do an end of the year budget amendment.
Yeah, that's
No,
all.
but it was more of a surprise, is what he was saying.
Well, we did have a
There's
couple of surprise issues. The server
Yeah.
was a surprise, that we were not anticipating that until next year. You know, so that was a surprise, and then,
Because I went on a whole rant about that before I understood that it was just a budget amendment.
and I guess the way it was originally, came about was a question, Jason was up sick, and Lois had a question about where is the $163,000 for the tunnel coming from, because I have to have it booked by year end. And I'm like, what?
Well, for the audit.
And it turns out basically what it amounted to was there's about 70,000, not 163, but there's about 70,000 that we don't currently have in the fund under township improvements. There's 163 in there, but there's 70 that was unaccounted for that is going to be a reimbursement after the tunnel is completed and we submit the invoices that we've paid that they reimburse us for. So she has to book that in such a way that it doesn't come up as an audit exception, and that's why we had to have a special meeting to do the budget amendment.
Because my wife's whole comment on this is, what are you hollering at me about?
You went on a rant today.
I didn't get all that rant, all I got was, I forget how you worded it, and I said, I didn't ask for particulars, Randy said we needed a meeting.
Well,
He knows when
the
we
accountant
do.
said we should have a meeting, because I have some expenditures we gotta have in the books.
We're not adjourned yet, right?
No,
Okay,
not yet.
After we do, if you guys can hang around, I'll just give you some updates on today.
Okay, so the motions that were passed was the agenda was approved and the budget amendment 2019-13 was approved, minus the township match. And I'll let the accountant know so she can adjust that. And that is it.
Okay, we just need one more motion then.
I move to adjourn.
Support.
Let's see, what time is it? 3:20.
3:20.
Give me a gap. Give me a gap.